efficiency, helping you get clear on the efficiency of your home. Okay, Abter, I am up in the attic space right now, just taking a quick look around, seeing what it is that you have and seeing how it is that we might best be able to help you out here. So first and foremost, what we're looking at is the type of insulation that you have here on your attic floor. This particular stuff is just an older version of the white fiberglass type of insulation. Definitely a good type of insulation, nothing wrong with this. The only difference between this particular version and the newest version, which is what I have, which is if I put this directly on my skin, it still has that irritational factor to it, whereas the new stuff that's been worked out of it completely, you can put it on your skin, there's zero irritational. But as far as its ability to insulate and do its job, they're the exact same, and this does a wonderful job. Your only issue with this is that you're not at code, okay? And that brings me to my second point here, which is your levels, okay? So right now, you're coming in right around this R19 mark right here, okay? So R19 is what you've got right here. Just to put that in perspective, bare minimum code is R38. So that's 13.25 inches. That's right here, okay? And then the very most insulation that you would put in the home for the maximum effective insulation is 20 inches at R60. Anything above this is what we call diminishing returns, which means we can double up. We can give you 40 inches. It won't do anything more than it will right here at this 20. But at the very least, we certainly want to get you to code, okay? So pretty simple on that. Now, where you're at right now with the R19, insulation is done in increments. So the smallest increment is 19, the next is 30, 38, so on and so forth. Where you're at right now with the R19, we would come in here at the very least and blow 19 over the top of what you've got, and 19 plus 19 is 38. So that will get you to code, okay? So pretty simple on that, okay? Now, like I mentioned to you, the number one priority is your HVAC, okay? And I'll explain the SMUD rebate requirements for that. But like I mentioned to you, SMUD also does have a rebate for attic work because they want you to be the most efficient as possible, but as clean as possible, okay? So they do offer a $3,000 rebate for the attic work that's separate from their $3,500 HVAC rebate. So that is insulation, air seal, and I'll explain that in a second, and ductwork, okay, which is the tubes that are traveling the air in which you pay for hot and cold. So the efficiency level is important on these guys, okay? So I've said all that to say this. Insulation, they will allow you to keep what you have because what you have is clean. They would not have allowed you to keep this type of insulation if it was covered in rodent activity, okay? Or if you had multiple types of insulation and you do not, you only have the one and there's no rodent activity, so it's clean and can be used. So you can use it as a starting point and just make up the difference in order to get to code. So very simple, okay? The second caveat to the rebate is air seal. And what that's referring to is any penetration in the home. So if this is your home, okay? As you pay for heat, hot air rises and it stacks on the ceiling and it looks for avenues to escape and get into the attic space, okay? Which obviously doesn't benefit you, okay? And so what SMUD wants you to do is go to all those avenues of penetration and seal them up with the expandable spray foam. And what that's going to do is two things, right? One, it's going to improve your air quality because now dust is not getting back down through the holes, right? But also definitely improve your energy efficiency because now your unit doesn't need to run nearly as much in order to satisfy the requirements of the temperature. It's going to be sealed up and it's not going to be leaking up into the attic, so it doesn't have to work nearly as hard. Same thing vice versa when you're paying for AC and it's 100 plus, less heat's going to be able to get back down into the home, which means you have to run the AC less and less, which in turn will lower the bill. So pretty simple on that. And I'm not going to take you to a lot of areas, but I do want you to have a visual. This is referring to anywhere where the ductwork, the tubing meets the attic floor, anywhere where you've got plumbing like this, any recessed lighting, if you have any can lights, these are all areas of leakage, of penetration, in which we're going to want to seal up, which SMUD wants us to seal up. So this right here is just some plumbing right here going down into the home. Obviously, they drilled a hole so that it was big enough for the plumbing, but notice that this hole is bigger than what the plumbing is, right? And again, that allows for temperature transfer from up here to down there, but also from down there to up here. So they want us to seal all these avenues up, and that's going to allow you to be much more comfortable, yes, but also much more energy efficient, okay? So pretty simple on that. Now, lastly, insulation, air seal, ducting. So ducting is the last thing to talk about. SMUD wants you to have a good energy that's going to play good offense and play good defense. And by that, I mean they want you to have a tube that's going to keep the majority of your heat on the inside when it's cold outside without that heat trying to leave the duct and dissipate, right? But also vice versa, they want you to have a good duct that's going to play great defense during the summertime when you're paying for cold air, but it's 100 plus in the attic. They don't want you to have an inefficient duct that's allowing that heat to easily be able to bleed into the duct, and now you've got to run that AC more and more, okay? Now I've said all that to say this: they will grandfather in the rebate if you've got a duct level rated at R6, okay? Anything underneath R6, they consider not efficient, and they would want you to replace it with the newest version, which is R8, which sits just above that R6, okay? Now, your current ducts we're upside down, but this says R6, okay? So your current ducts actually do meet code, and you would not need to change them or to replace them in order to qualify for the rebate, okay? So as I see it, I see basically two options here for you. Option number one is you decide not to go for the rebate, Abter. You decide just to blow R19 over the top of your insulation and call it a day, okay? You will certainly be more comfortable and be more energy efficient in that aspect. However, if you decide to do the seal and blow and seal up the gaps and then blow in the R19 over the top of your existing insulation, that project would actually qualify you for the SMUD rebate because you already have existing R6, okay? And so on that particular project, they would take $3,000 directly off the top. So pretty simple on that, okay? Now, I've said all that to say one final thing, and I'm going to get out of the attic here. Even if we do a perfect job for SMUD and we do a perfect seal and blow and seal up the gaps and blow the R19 in, they would not give us the rebate as long as we kept this particular plenum box up here, okay? They just don't like this material in which is used, so I'll explain. This box is called a plenum box, and its purpose is important. Its purpose is to take the air in which you've paid for, pressurize it, and send it back down through the tubes and disperse it evenly throughout the room. So it's kind of an important job. However, they don't like the material used here. Yes, they created a box with it, but this is called ductboard, okay? It's just a very pliable material. It's essentially a cardboard box that's wrapped in insulation. Yes, you can blow air into a cardboard box, but the material of a cardboard box can't actually hold on to the air, so you waste a great deal of it, which is the reason why SMUD doesn't like it. It's super susceptible to energy transfer. So if you are trying to pay for cold air, you can easily, it's summertime and you're paying for cold air, heat's definitely bleeding into this guy, causing you to have to run your outdoor unit more and more, right? Same thing vice versa. During this time of year, as you're paying for heat, you definitely are running your furnace more. This bad boy needs to work harder because all the heat that it's generating isn't just coming right down through the tubes. It's being wasted out through this box, and then and some of it's going down through the tube. So if we're doing the SMUD rebate option, like I said, we're either doing a blow or we're doing a seal and blow and qualifying for that $3,000 rebate. If we're doing the seal and blow, we would also change out this plenum box for a sheet metal version, which will actually pressurize and hold on to the air, so you're not wasting and having to run your units more and more, okay? But that's pretty much it, Abter. That's everything that I'm looking at. That's just a few options to consider, my professional opinion, sooner rather than later. Thank you.